So I've been collecting vinyl records for a couple of years now, and I have seen a lot of stuff. From garage sales to hidden hole-in-the-wall record stores, I've bumped into a couple oddities along the way, and today I want to showcase a couple of these pieces from my collection. From rare colored disco singles to records that aren't what they seem to be at first glance, we are going to take a look at some of the weirdest pieces from my music collection. If this is your first time here at the channel, click that good old subscribe button for me. I do a bunch of deep dives into obscure and fascinating music, and I'd love to have you join me here for our next adventure. Make yourself at home and let me know in the comments below what are some of the weirder pieces you own in your music collection as well. I would love to see what y'all got cooking over at your crib. So first up, let's actually look at some cassettes. For those who have been here for a while, y'all know I don't really collect too many cassettes. Most of the ones I have are ones from labels that have sent me material over the years, which I'm very grateful for and so happy to preserve in my collection. But a couple of months ago, I saw that a label was doing a bootleg edition of my album Contrast. Now, I laughed at this. I really don't care what anyone does with my music personally. It's all up for free download anyway. But I took a look at this a little deeper, and it was coming from a label known as Kingdown Market. I think that's how you pronounce it. This label has caused a bit of a ruckus in the scene, but I think it's pretty easy to see that they're upfront about it being cheesy. Like, they play the bootleg vibe, obviously. It's not like they're pretending the music is theirs in a way. I don't know. The whole discussion, it's subjective. It's totally understandable if you wouldn't want your music taken in any sort of way. But for me, I don't care. So yeah, this label was doing a bootleg version of Contrast, and I came to find that they've also done a couple of other bootleg releases, which you are seeing on the screen right now. What Kingdown Market does is they take the name of your album and totally screw it up. I mean, look at it, we got Chloroplast over here. They throw a couple of discount pricing stickers on them and makes you feel like you're finding it at a corner store in the back behind the freezer with the bags of ice. I don't know, holding this thing, it feels like a computer virus in my hand. Like, I'm gonna get sick by holding it. I don't even have words for it. I really wonder what they're gonna do next. I mean, look at this. Look at what they did with my poor Death's Dynamic Shroud, for goodness sake. I think all of these are sold out on their site. It doesn't seem like they're really trying to cash out and make big bucks off of other people. I think Contrast, or Chloroplast as they call it, it was only a limited edition of 50 from what I remember. So it seems like they're just poking a bit of fun and trying to get some silly cassettes out there in the world. Definitely the strangest cassettes in my collection. But now let's move on to the vinyl because there are some things I want to show you. So next up, we are going to take a look at a bunch of old disco singles. However, not just regular disco singles, but colored disco singles. For anyone who's gone garage sailing or thrift store digging for records, you know almost everything you find from back in the day is on a standard black vinyl. When I first started collecting records, I used to go garage sailing almost every weekend, and I would find some of the most amazing things. I mean, the hauls I would get back in the day for records, it just does not happen anymore. I used to find boxes and boxes of old disco singles, and virtually every time they would obviously be that standard black vinyl, but a couple of times I would get really lucky. It kind of felt like finding a shiny Pokemon in a way. Like, my heart would stop pulling one of these out of the sleeve and seeing that it was a colored record. As of this video, I've only found 4 colored disco singles in the wild ever, each of them looking absolutely killer. I mean, take a look at this East Side Connection single right here. I don't think I own any other splatter record like in my collection right now that has this many colors in one record. Like, that shit is expensive to do. Every single dye that goes into a vinyl from the presser is gonna cost some cash. So this is some pretty wacky stuff right here. All of these tracks are bangers too. Definitely check them out if you're looking for some good breaks. Love Disco Style and that Lipstick Red. Lemon's Freak On, which is, you know, only fitting to go on this juicy see-through yellow. And we top it all off with a scrumptious bubblegum pink Olé Olé. These are awesome to own and even more awesome to spin. They look so pretty throwing them on the player, and they are easily the most unique older records I own in my collection. Let's keep kicking it old school for a little bit more. This right here is Synchronicity by The Police. And yeah, I know, you're asking, what's so special about this? It's just a standard vinyl record. So a couple of years ago, I was surfing through Reddit in one of the vinyl subreddits, and there was a post about colored records, or the most interesting looking records you owned in your collection or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but in that post, someone said that if you owned a copy of The Police's Synchronicity on vinyl, there is a rare chance that you own a see-through purple vinyl. It looks black at first, but if you hold it up to the light, it would reveal a purple record. Now, I saw this and I knew I owned Synchronicity on vinyl. I love The Police. They were one of the first bands I ever saw live. I remember seeing them in middle school with my cousin. We saved up a bunch of cash for tickets, and we saw them, and Elvis Costello opened. It was a killer show, but yeah, I knew I had this record. So I thought to myself, I gotta go check out if I actually have the purple one. And what do you know? I hold this shit up to the light and bam, it's purple. How cool is this? And I have a couple of records that are one color, and then when you hold them to the light, they change. But this one is so interesting because it is literally, it's black. If no one told you it hit a purple color, you would have no idea at all. It's super sleek and discreet, and once again, another one of the few older colored records I have in my collection. Next up on our list today, we're gonna hit up some Vaporwave vinyl. Here we got a copy of US Golf 95's self-titled album, US Golf 95. And the reason why I'm putting this up here is because I bought it for how insanely simple it is. I'm not saying that because it's bad or anything. It's a solid album and really fun to throw on from time to time. But usually when I'm shopping for vinyl online, I'm always going for cool pressings and variants or fun and interactive packaging. You know, I want the whole experience of owning a piece of art, which is what vinyl records are to me. Many who are a part of the Vaporwave scene will remember maybe in like 2018 or so, or 2017, there was this massive boom of vinyl coming out in the scene. And when this was happening, a lot of artists were throwing their records up on Q-Rates or Crates, however you pronounce it. It's a site where you can crowdfund a record to get pressed. It was a great way for artists who didn't want to deal with record factories directly or dish out all this money up front, you know, just to be able to get their music and see it on wax. When this was happening, there was a lot of them coming out. It really kind of burnt me out after a while, and it was because of this just non-stop barrage of all these crazy looking records popping up. I saw that US Golf 95 was throwing his record up on there, and he was like real chill about it and just quiet in a way from what I remember. And the record was so simple. It was just a standard black vinyl with not even a legitimate sleeve, just this little thing to hold it. And I ended up getting that. It's one of the only records I actually ever bought from Q-Rates or Crates or whatever. And it's just this really humble pressing, in my opinion, that just pops its head out of my collection every once in a while that I love to throw on for some super swampy golf course vibes. It has a strange presence in my collection next to all these crazy rare variants of certain records that I own, but sometimes it's nice to just settle down and pick up this little weirdo and put it on for a spin. And last but not least, definitely, we are going to talk about some signal wave on vinyl. I would have never thought back in the day that we would ever see the day where actual signal wave releases would be getting pressed onto vinyl. Quick description for those who do not know, signal wave is a branch off of the Vaporwave family tree that explores old television commercials and sound clips, for examples, radio, broadcasts, and it just samples all of them in this weird audio collage sort of way, this like musical mood board where everything gets thrown at one another. And it's a really fun style. I love it a lot. And here, we're looking at who many consider to be the GOAT of signal wave, the legendary Asutenki. This was pressed on dark web recordings at a super limited run of just 100 records. I definitely did not want to miss out on this when I saw it pop up. I love Asutenki's work. It's great to throw on in the background. And I don't know, it's just cool to see these like low-res Japanese weather graphics on a vinyl record. They are now long sold out, but if you are looking to pick any other signal wave up, both Aqua Blanca and Tiger Blood tapes have Asutenki albums on vinyl, both at very limited numbers as well, and they are still for sale. Both records are really short in runtime. The albums are super short, which is probably why they haven't sold out yet, but the novelty of these things are just, it's through the roof, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go sooner than later regardless. So yeah, there you have it. I definitely have some others in my collection that I just gotta dig up, and I could totally make a part 2 to this video. If that's something you're interested in seeing, let me know. And also, like I said earlier, let me know in the comments below what are some of the weirder albums you own in your music collection. Also, really quick, if you want to help support the channel as well as get access to a bunch of exclusive content like my patron exclusive Discord server Club Chennington, head on over to my Patreon page and consider signing up today. I will leave a link in the description below. Until we meet again, much love, your boy, and we'll talk soon, Pad Chennington.